My name is Rachel Cohen. A health problem throughout the United States that is continuing to grow is childhood obesity. I'm going to discuss this issue and the impact that a school-based physical activity program can have on childhood obesity. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention state that since 1970, the percentage of children with obesity has tripled within the United States. Today, 1 in 5 school-aged children are obese. This is a problem due to the fact that obesity impacts people's physical, social, and emotional health. It has an immediate impact on a person's life as well as long-term impacts. Childhood obesity leads to chronic health conditions such as type 2 diabetes, sleep apnea, asthma, bone and joint conditions, and risk factors for heart disease. If a child suffers from obesity, they also are more likely to suffer from obesity as an adult. This can lead to several types of cancers, metabolic syndrome, and type 2 diabetes, as well as many heart disease issues. Childhood obesity affects children emotionally due to the fact that children with obesity are more likely to be bullied than normal weight children. This can lead to depression and low self-esteem. The issue of childhood obesity is very important. Due to this problem, Healthy People 2020 developed national goals in hopes to decrease the percentage of people with obesity within the United States. Their goal is to promote health and reduce chronic disease through the consumption of healthful diets and achievement and maintenance of healthy body weights. Healthy People 2020 developed objectives to reach this goal. I wonder if the issue lies in the fact that today children are not receiving enough physical exercise. Children today are engaged in more sedentary activities such as watching television and playing video games. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services recommends that young children engage in at least 60 minutes per day of physical activity. Due to this recommendation, I feel that a physical activity program within the child's school would help to decrease the rate of childhood obesity. I suggest trialing a school-based physical activity program on children for 1 school year and assessing the percentage of obese children at the beginning and end of the program. I feel that implementing this program in the school system will have an impact on the childhood obesity due to the fact that school-aged children usually develop their attitudes and behaviors during this period. Wright, Geiger, Norris, and Suro conducted a randomized control trial to determine the effect of a nurse-coordinated comprehensive school health program on physical activity and body mass index. The randomization occurred at the school level. Schools were either randomized to the control group or the intervention group. The intervention group was a 6 weeks after-school program lasting 90 minutes that consisted of physical activity, nutrition education, behavior modification, and family involvement. The physical activity portion lasted 45 minutes. The control group participated in their standard physical activity program that was at their school if one was even offered. They did not receive any education on physical activity or nutrition. The sample size was 251 participants recruited from Los Angeles, California. The study findings revealed that female students in the intervention group had a decrease in their BMI and BMI Z-scores from baseline to 4 months, and the effect was sustained at 12 months. Males in the intervention group had a decrease in their BMI and BMI Z-scores, but it was not statistically significant. Both males and females had an increase in physical activity from baseline to 4 months, and it was sustained at 12 months. Another study that was conducted was by Turo and many other authors. They conducted a randomized control trial to determine the effect of a health promotion in primary schools on obesity prevalence. Again, the randomization occurred at the school level. The intervention group received 3 components: educational intervention activities, educational teaching using a booklet, and parental involvement. The control group did not receive any type of intervention. The sample size for this study was 1,939 participants. This study revealed that there was a decrease of 2.36% obesity prevalence for the boys in the intervention group. The boys in the control group had an increase in their obesity prevalence by 2.03%. As for the girls in the intervention group, there was a decrease of 1.66% obesity prevalence, but this was not statistically significant. Findings from the BMI Z-scores showed that there was a decrease for both boys and girls in the intervention group compared to the control group. Lastly, there was an increase in physical activity time in the intervention group for both the boys and girls. Both studies implemented a school-based physical activity program that not only included physical activity, but also education on nutrition, physical activity, eating habits, and behavior modification. Both studies also implemented family involvement in the education and activities. These studies both revealed a decrease in BMI and BMI Z-scores for both boys and girls. Both studies revealed an increase in physical activities time for both boys and girls. These findings have a great value to nursing practices due to the fact that if schools would implement a school-based physical activity program for children at a young age and educate them on the importance of regular physical activity, the prevalence of childhood obesity would start to decrease. If childhood obesity prevalence decreased, then we may start to see chronic health conditions related to obesity also decrease. These findings can be applied to improve nursing practice through the use of education in the school system about the impact that this physical activity program has on childhood obesity. Based on these findings, all schools should be required to have a mandatory physical activity program in place for their students. The advanced nurse practitioner can help to advocate for this requirement in their school systems and surrounding school systems by presenting the data that shows that a school-based physical activity program does make an impact. The advanced nurse practitioner should also educate the school system on the effects that obesity has on a person later in life. This intervention of a school-based physical activity program will allow Americans' health to improve and certain diseases linked to obesity can be prevented. Please let me know if you have any questions or comments. Thank you.